Yuba-Sutter.LIVE's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. Pick your time to attend the Marysville Peach Festival. It's happening Friday, July 14th and Saturday, July 15th in downtown Marysville. You'll find your old favorites like Sidaro's Cobbler and Pies, Peaches and Cream, fresh peaches locally grown, and other fruit to take home and eat. Fun for kids and big kids. A City of Marysville event kept moving by Recology, Waste Zero, and by Yuba County. Say yes to Yuba. The 23rd Marysville Peach Festival happening Friday, July 14th and Saturday, July 15th in downtown Marysville. A City of Marysville event.
Local legislative bodies may hold public meetings via teleconference. Additionally, even when members of the local legislative body are attending meetings in person, the local legislative body may make public meetings accessible telephonically or otherwise electronically to all members of the public. Members of the public are encouraged to observe and participate in the teleconference.
All right. Consent agenda.
Move to approve. Oh, sorry.
All members listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and can be enacted in one motion. We have a motion and a second. Any questions from the public? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. All right. Special presentations. We're going to move the Marysville Joint Unified School District up to first presentation here, if that's okay. Did you tell her? Or did we surprise her? Okay.
Perfect. All right. Good morning. Good morning, Chairman Vasquez and members of the council. Thank you so much for having us here today. On behalf of Marysville Joint Unified School District, I have a team here with me. As you know, we're a proud and historic district. We serve the majority of this county. We are really honored and humbled to be able to do that. Today, I'll just present very quickly on what our school district has been doing, give the county and everybody who's attending present here today, as well as online, to be able to hear a little bit about our school district. Again, we are honored and humbled that you would have us here today so that we could talk about our students, our schools, our teachers, and everything that we do to serve our community. Again, I'm Fowles Ronnie, Superintendent of Marysville Joint Unified School District. And behind me is my team, and they'll introduce themselves when they come up to talk today. So just a very quick, and I won't read anything to you, but of course our mission and our vision and core values, everything is about children. What we do is we serve our students in the community from the time they're little babies, almost 4 years old and above, and until they're with us. Some of our students stay with us till they're 22 if they're in special programs. We also serve adults in our community with our new adult school. But the vision and mission for our district is always to make sure whatever we do, we provide opportunities so that every child under our care can have the unique opportunities to grow the way they would like to. Trying to see which way to go. Here we go. So to understand our school district, it's really important to know who runs a district? What does it look like? Many residents of this community have been through the school, but may not have taken the time to know. So what does it look like? So right on the top, everything we do is about children first. We have 10,370 students in the last count, PK through 12 grades. We have about 500 preschool students. Last year, we opened our adult school, and within the first year alone, we served about 350 adult students in our adult school program. We have close to 1,300 members in our certificated and classified team. That would mean our teachers, as well as our classroom paraprofessionals, bus drivers, nutritional workers, a maintenance team, etc. We have a 31 principal assistant. We have 24 schools. You'll hear a little bit more about that from one of my team members. We have about 15 directors and coordinators. You'll see that we have 15 departments. And so each of them have a director, and that's where we are. In our cabinet, we are a 5-member team. Behind me is members of my cabinet. One member is having a little well-earned vacation today, so he's not here today. That's Dr. Gabe Simon. And then our Board of Education, of course, is a 7-member team. Moving on to our service model at the district level, we have the executive cabinet and the extended cabinet. Executive cabinet is my members, 5 of us, and then extended cabinet are all our directors. We believe that our directors are truly I know I can't see you, Mr. Blazer, so I'll move over here. Our directors are truly the ones who carry the work with them. Is this better? Okay. I couldn't see Mr. Blazer. I didn't want you to be like I wasn't looking at you. Of course, at the district level, we also have the Board of Education, but what we really enjoy is the leadership that we see from our community partners, our labor leaders, our parents who are in our advisory capacity working with us. At our schools, of course, we have administration at each of our schools, and then we have our student voices, our student leaders, our parents, and our labor partners. And so here are the 15 departments I talked about. From nutrition to transportation to technology to special education, educational services, child development, adult education, all those departments are listed there for you. I won't read it out, but what's important to note is we all work as a well-coordinated team, and the entire focus is always on our children first. All our decisions are about, if we can make a decision that says, is this good for children, then it's a right decision. Sometimes it may not be a very popular decision, right? But that's why you are here and where we are. We make decisions that's best for our children first. So as I'm going to go sit back, and then each of my assistant superintendents will come up, introduce themselves, and talk a little bit about what they do. And so you get a good idea of our district work. And then I will come back at the end and take any questions you might have for us. Okay? So at this point, it'll be Assistant Superintendent Jay Trujillo, in charge of educational services.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for having all of us, and me in particular. As Dr. Ronnie said, one of our team members is not here, and that's Dr. Gabe Simon, who oversees HR or human resources. So I just want to speak a little bit briefly to some of the key work that's happening there. Dr. Simon would have you know that in the course of over the last year, we have completely revamped and automated many of our processes and our procedures in order to become more efficient and more effective at gathering perhaps our greatest resource to a school district, and that's the people who work there. Everything from our classified staff, such as what Dr. Ronnie talked about, nutrition services, transportation services, the people who are helping teachers in the classroom, to the teachers themselves and our administrators. It's no surprise that there is a teacher shortage, if you will. And in particular, great teachers are hard to come by. So rather than just leave things up to chance, one of the things that our district has done is we've developed our very own teacher pipeline or our teacher pathways. So for example, when teachers are not quite yet credentialed, that is, they don't have all the authorizations in order to be completely satisfy all of the state demands, there's a series of courses and classwork that they have to take, and so like on-the-job training. Well, we now provide that all on our own in-house, and that's part of our teacher pathway and our partnership program. We also have something called teacher residency, whereby teachers, in this case, it's a lot of our formerly or now retired teachers, it's like a teacher helping teacher program. So those teachers that are still new in the process, trying to learn or develop their craft, get the support from teachers on the ground in the classrooms. So it's sort of like on the job training. As I mentioned, just with respect to personnel altogether, it's really a commitment to try to serve those who serve our students. So as a district, we take a very personal approach to trying to help develop our staff, and then in turn help them to be effective at their craft. My official job over there is to oversee educational services. Educational services is just, you might think of it this way, is that anything that has to do with teaching and learning. So it's whether the programs that we offer, in this case, we're trying to highlight some of those for you, the materials and or the resources that are part of our program offerings, as well as the people in the training, everything that goes in to try to help provide programs that are going to engage and help our students to be effective as learners. So for example, after it had been gone for quite some time, we did bring back like our GATE program. That's our Gifted and Talented program. It had been absent for quite some time, and now we have it back fully functioning in MJUSD. Our AVID program. AVID simply stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, and it's a nationally recognized program that helps to serve historically underrepresented students in colleges and universities to take the rigorous coursework, but then in order to become more competitively eligible to enter some of our best colleges and universities. So that's a program that's pretty well established across the nation, but it had been absent in MJUSD for a number of years. And again, that's one of the things that we brought back. So we're really excited about that. We're doing a lot of things to try to help our most advanced learners. So we are growing our advanced placement courses in both of our comprehensive high schools and our charter academy, MCAA. But we are also starting that much earlier. So just rather than waiting for students to come into the high school and then kind of miraculously get ready for the most advanced courses, we now have developed an honors program in our middle schools. So in 7th grade and 8th grade, we're identifying students who have that potential to be effective and successful in the academic coursework, and then put it in supports and procedures in order to help them to do just that. So when the time they get into those advanced placement courses in the high school, they're more likely to be rigorous. So we don't want to just provide access to those courses, but we want them to be successful in them. So success thereby by earning the appropriate coursework or by passing the advanced level tests that they take in order to get some credits to go into college. We're really proud about our CTE programs. There are 15 industry sectors in the state, 8 of them of which we provide supports for our students in MJUSD. I think overall we have 18 different pathways that we offer. So for example, under the industry sector of agricultural education, there's probably 5 different pathways that we offer. So students can specialize in a particular area of interest for them. Student leadership, for example, another thing I'd like to just highlight, we are very intentional at involving a student voice as a key feedback mechanism for us to improve our programs and our services for our students. So our SEAL team is what we affectionately call our student leader group, student engagement and leadership team. So our SEAL team. So for example, this team meets regularly with district office leaders to include Dr. Ezrani and myself, other cabinet members. And it's through this group that we are able to make some of the improvements that we've made in our district. For example, some of the new courses that we now have offered in MJUSD, as an example, American Sign Language was a course that was petitioned by this group of student leaders to offer. And so we listened and we've done it. This past graduation, which were fabulous, by the way, we invite you all to come to those. We highlighted over 52 student volunteers who earned a high level of recognition for their volunteerism in our community. That whole program was developed through the voice and the input of our student leaders and our SEAL team. So that's something that we're also very proud of. There's a few more things I can talk about, but they only give me 5 minutes. So one of the things that we are very committed to in MJUSD is to ensure that all students graduate with a plan for their future. We can all remember, I'm sure, either through our own experiences or those to our own children or family children, there's nothing more scary to a graduate than to not know what their next steps are going to be. And rather than leave that to chance, we are very thoughtful in trying to leave that through design. So that's where this CTE program come into play. We're also developing our dual enrollment options. Dual enrollment simply is another way of saying students are getting both high school credit and college credit simultaneously. So it's a pretty common phenomenon, but I would say that MJUSD is growing this program in leaps and bounds. So students can earn college credit simply by taking a college course on the campus of Yuba College, for example, but we have a specialized program called the Early College Program, where students as a cohort, about 30 of them, for example, start as early as 9th grade, and through 4 years of being on that university campus or the college campus, excuse me, at the end of that, they'll actually earn their AA degree in behavioral sciences, if I'm not mistaken. Next year, you may have heard, we're opening a brand new high school called the Middle College High School. That's going to be located actually on the campus of Yuba College, so we're excited about that, starting it with our incoming 9th graders. And then this last year, we took an entire year to develop a graduate profile with a lot of community input. In fact, some of you may have, or people you know may have contributed to that by the completion of a community survey, which simply helps us or allowed us to identify by community demand what are the academic, personal, and interpersonal competencies that we want our students to acquire by the end of their 12 years of education. So it's a way that allows us to collectively come up with a unified voice about what we want our students to achieve in our schools, develop a common language in order to try to help support that in our classrooms, and then come up with common measurement or indicators to demonstrate whether or not we are making progress. And those indicators start as early as TK. So we don't wait for high school. We actually start it at the very early onset of the school. Lastly, it's no surprise, and I'm sure we have all heard that the pandemic caused quite a need throughout the nation, and certainly in our own community, communities of poverty and communities of color, communities where there's less, probably experience more trauma and hardship than others. And so to bring back that hope and bring back that career aspirations, we put a lot of services and supports into our schools in order to try to develop, for example, wellness across our district. So, for example, this last year, we wrote and were granted a $13 million grant from the state in order to significantly provide increased levels of services and support for our students, but not just our students, our families. We recognize that the students come to us not just by their own experiences, but they also come by way of the experiences of their families. So we are all in to support family development as well as student development. I could go on, but just know that any more schools are open 24/7, it seems like. We are open during Christmas break. We are open during spring break. We are open during Thanksgiving break. And anymore, the school day is upwards of 9 hours. Because by law, if we get these additional dollars, we have to provide a 9-hour day. So just about every school now has before school programs, after school programs, intercession program. That's what we call the time in between like Christmas break and spring break. But students are learning and being provided enrichment opportunities, if you will, all year long. That endeavor takes a big commitment from not just our community, but workers and staff members. So, buses, it's no longer just a 6 or 7 hour day anymore. Nutrition services, no longer just lunchtime and breakfast anymore. We serve afternoon snacks, we serve dinners, we provide students transportation to and from at the very beginning of the day to the very end of the day. So it's just an all-in endeavor. We're pretty proud of what we've accomplished. And either I or any of my staff members would be more than willing to come back and talk to you about any and or all of these things. I think that's done for me. Thank you very much.
I think we have some questions for you specifically before you escape.
Oh, I don't really have a question, but I've been involved with the Career Technical Education Board for a number of years, actually. So that's always impressive to get those presentations. And then we had a nice presentation from Marysville's Future Farmers. That's really impressive, and it's really good to see these quality kids.
Yeah, thank you for acknowledging that. The whole idea behind the CTE work, for example, is to give students experiences such that they will encounter in the real world. So what we call work-based learning experiences. We are growing our internship programs by leaps and bounds, partnering with people like One Stop and the local 93K radio station and others, because we want students to experience either in schools themselves, in classrooms, through speaker bureaus, for example, or by going out to these businesses to experience it, what it's really like in the field. High wage, high demand jobs. I mean, that's sort of like the sweet spot for CTE. So thank you for your participation in it, and we hope to see more of it. Thank you.
So do have questions. So one of the things that you listed was internships. So what you were just talking about there, are they CTE training or are they internships? How does the internship system work?
Yeah, so it's both in terms of CTE training and internship. So students who are selected for the internship opportunities that exist essentially will have to meet certain criteria. For example, they may have had like one of the first courses in the 2 or the 3 course pathway. And then the employer simply has worked with us to establish, for if you will, like a schedule and actions and ways that we're going to go about measuring, the effectiveness of the program.
Are there any particular niche industries that you're looking for internships for?
Well, right now we would take them in anything, for example, but arts and entertainment, the agriculture, the sciences, the STEM, the medical sector, the behavioral sciences, the child development. These are all pathways in which we currently have in existence. So if there were internship opportunities for students to actually go and work, paid or otherwise, we would be all over it.
All right. One of the other things you had listed was community service seal. What is that?
Yeah, so this last year, by the voice of our student leaders, students who formally completed 50 hours of community service, which could then be documented, signed off by wherever that community service was provided.
And how many people qualified for that?
I think this first year we had 52 students, I believe, get that award. I would expect that number to probably double, if not triple, this year.
You mentioned that you brought GATE back, which is fantastic. I was talking to a lady about it the other day. Do you guys have the academic decathlon? Is it still defunct? Are you bringing it back? What's the situation with it?
We do have academic decathlon, and I believe it's just this year is the first year that we have offered it. And I don't know if it's ever or if it's just after it had been around for a while, but.
If I may, sorry. Academic decathlon has been in our district for a long time. It has been at Marysville High School, run by Angela Stiegel, and those kids go every year and win the regional championship. So that's one program that is continuing, and we're really proud of that one.
Okay, great.
We're proud of all others, but we're really proud of that one. That's still continuing.
And then at the very beginning, you mentioned that the school teachers could get the necessary certifications while working in your district. Now, is that the full credential? Like they can go straight from a bachelor's? No, they have to have already had the credential, and it's just the stuff afterwards. All right, great. Those are my questions. Thank you.
You bet.
Excuse me, for the board, through the chair, next time, please. This is a 30-minute presentation and they'll take questions here.
Okay, so my name is Brian Williams. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Administrative Services, and I'm going to talk about the areas that kind of fall under me. One of those areas is overall enrollment of our district. Last year, we topped 10,000 students for the first time. It was my 20th year in the school district. When I first came, it was before the housing crash, and the projections had us going up to 20,000 in no time, and then we all know that lived here for a while, things kind of changed. But last year, we are one of the very few districts actually in California that actually have increasing enrollment. Most of them are seeing decreasing, but we are not. We tapped 10,000, as you can see. And it's important to us that we offer, as Mr. Trujillo was saying, many different opportunities for education. So we've got 13 TK through 5 or 6 elementary schools. And you can see the picture here. That's the boundaries that we cover. As you know, we cover almost as much as you do. We get almost the entire county. We have schools. We had Yuba-Feather last year had 6 snow days that they had to make up at the end of the year. We go all the way down to Arboga. It brings some unique challenges because, as you know, it can take an hour to get from Arboga all the way up to Yuba-Feather. We even have some kids that live in Butte County that are part of the Yuba-Feather attendance area. That's where we get the joint from. It's because we cover more than one county a little bit. It's just very few way up at the top. We also have a TK through 8 school that we expanded. Arboga has been a TK through 6 for many years, but we added 7th grade last year and we'll be adding 8th grade this year to help down in the south part of the county. We have our 2 middle schools that are 6 through 8, that's Foothill and McKinney. And we have 1 middle school that's 7th and 8th, that is Yuba Gardens. And then we have our charter school, Marysville Charter Academy for the Arts, which is just a fantastic program. And it has students from 7th through 12th grade. Some of them, if you haven't had a chance to see one of the musicals, please make it out to see one. They are extremely talented. We are very, very proud of them. We have our 2 comprehensive high schools that are Marysville High School and Lyndhurst High School. And that says 7th through 12th, that's a mistake. That's 9th through 12th. Abraham Lincoln is our actual online school now. We have a TK since COVID hit, we've continued. We have some students that kind of prefer that learning model. And so we provide online school for TK through 12th grade. We have our 2 continuation schools. We have South Lyndhurst, which is right next to the Lyndhurst campus. They earned accreditation. We wanted to make sure that all of our continuation students are able to go to an accredited school. So we have our North campus. So we actually have a North campus of South Lyndhurst High School. So then as Mr. Trujillo talked about, our middle college is opening up our adult school with 350 in the first year. I'll tell you what, sitting at that graduation ceremony for the adult students that had earned their diploma was just one of the most touching things that I've been involved in. It's just so fantastic to see in year 1. And then we have 9 preschools we have them all the way up at Dobbins, down all the way at Arboga. They cover 500 of our students, which is great because as Dr. Israni said, we have 3-year-olds that we're serving. We have 22-year-olds that we're serving. We serve so much of our community. And as you can see here, almost 11,000 total students served last year. Mr. Trujillo mentioned it a little bit, but wellness has become such a huge thing, health and wellness. I know how hard it was for me to be in lockdown, and what we're seeing is our kids, especially our young kids, it was really, really difficult. And as they've come back, being in groups of people, a lot of our younger kids in particular, our 1st, 2nd graders, they missed out on those opportunities because we don't just teach math and English, we teach social skills. We teach all of those types of things. We teach kids how to behave on a playground, but they weren't on a playground. And so we missed that opportunity for a couple of years. And even our older kids, we had teenagers that were spending all day in their room because there was nothing else to do. I certainly didn't do that when I was a teenager, and I'm sure none of you did either. And so as we've come back out of this, we're realizing that it's become a really big issue. And so one of the things we did last year is we had, and there are some signatures in this room, but we have the first ever of its kind wellness pledge, community wellness pledge. The schools in our community are pillars of our community, and it's up to all of us to make sure that we keep them tall and strong. And so we have, and you can see it on the right here, a pledge that if you see something, do something. If you see someone hurting or struggling, do something about it. And it's not just school leaders. It's local politicians. It's law enforcement. It's fire. Everyone in the community. We all serve this community as a group, as a team. And it's really important that we continue to approach it that way. This year, we'll be opening up wellness centers at all of our schools. It's a room where some of these kids that are having a hard time just can kind of get away. We'll have paraprofessionals in them, just so those kids, and not just kids, staff too. I mean, as adults, it's been difficult to come back from everything and kind of get back into the flow. And so you have adults, teachers in particular, that are they got a room full of 30 kids who are trying to get back to their normal as well. And it's a challenge. It's not easy. And so just to have that resource available to them. We're we opened up our very first community wellness hub at Lyndhurst High School last year. That's not just an opportunity. That's not, and we've done that with Yuba County Health and Services. We've done that with Peachtree. It's actually for our students, but the community as a whole. So parents and other families can come in and have access to it right there at at Lyndhurst. We're also looking to open one up at Yuba-Feather. We're looking to open one up at Marysville High School and at Cedar Lane Elementary as well, so that we have those that we, just like all of us, we want to be a hubs for the community in that area. All right, and then last, one of the things that for me is safety. Safety of our kids is critical. It's not just our kids, but our staff. We want families to be able to send their kids to school and feel safe while they're there. And unfortunately, we hear so many times how that doesn't always become the case. And we hear more and more about it with the things that happen across the country on the news. It's critical for us that we are not one of those sites. And so we do many things that we can to make sure our staff and our students are safe. We have door buzzers on our schools. We're installing some more this summer. We're increasing our cameras. We're improving our fencing around our campuses to make sure that our kids are safe. But it's not just safe in the physical world, but we now also have to make sure that our kids and staff are safe in the online world. And so part of what I have as well is we've got digital citizenship curriculum that we'll be pushing out for our students to teach them how to be safe online. I mentioned earlier that our job is to teach kids how to behave on the playground. Well, the new playground is the internet, and it's still our responsibility to teach them how to behave on that playground as well. And we have data privacy agreements in place that are really strict to make sure that we keep all of our staff and student data secure. And then just our overall cybersecurity with our network. As Dr. Azrani mentioned, we have 24 sites. We have the district office. We run a network that rivals a lot of large companies. And you wouldn't think it in a school site, but it's the case. And so having that infrastructure in place is critical to make sure that we maintain the safety of our students and staff. So with that, I am going to hand it off.
All right. Questions at the end, please. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jen Pasalia, the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, and I'm here to talk about our facilities. And as you know, or I think we're trying to get across, one of our top priorities is to provide optimal learning environments for our students. And that begins with our facilities. And as Brian pointed out in one of his slides, we have 23 campuses that range from the South County all the way up to Yuba-Feather. And so our buildings and grounds team, which includes our maintenance, grounds, and custodial, they're dedicated to providing up-to-date, safe, and healthy environments. So within our annual budget, we dedicate routine and deferred maintenance for this purpose. But for more significant projects like our new construction and modernization of buildings, we only have 3 funding sources. That's developer fees, state facilities funding, and general obligation bonds. But Marysville Joint Unified had a unique opportunity with COVID relief funds. We received about over $50 million, and we obtained approval from CDE, the California Department of Education, to use about $30 million of that for new facilities. So I'm going to hand this over to our Buildings and Grounds Director, Doug Trower. He's going to talk about all those exciting projects.
Good morning. Thanks for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Buildings and Grounds Department and Marysville School District. As you know, we have a lot of exciting new projects going on. On this slide, it shows that we have almost $50 million worth of projects. But if we go back to Arboga, we have just under $70 million worth of projects that we'll be completing within the next few years. I won't go over the whole list because I know I'm probably pretty short on time, but I would like to highlight, the Arboga project for one. It's 12 classroom, multi-purpose room with a new kitchen and expanded the use of that entire site, as well as the playground facilities. It's a major upgrade for that area. We're also working on security fencing for Marysville High School, Lyndhurst High School, and Marysville Charter. We started with Lyndhurst security fencing with some of the issues that we had that went on out there over the school year that served 2 purposes. One is it made the site a little more secure, as well as added some aesthetics to the property. We are also working on building a science room at Yuba Garden School. So that'll be a welcome upgrade to that facilities, as well as wellness centers throughout the school district. We have about 5 of them that are in the process, And Lyndhurst High School currently has one up and running, and it's a nice space for the kids to be able to come into. Yuba Gardens has a nice new music center, which is for the band and the music. It's a nice facilities for them. And then we have also some major projects happening. We have LHS and MHS are both receiving new tracks. Oh, thank you. Receiving new tracks. So the track at Marysville High School is upgraded lighting with a rubberized track surface. We're in the process of trying to relocate it so that we could relocate the softball field next to the varsity softball field, and it'll be a better use of that property. And then Lyndhurst High School is getting a new track, and since they already had lighting, we're upgrading the bleachers at that site. Foothill School, we're currently in the process of upgrading or modernizing that facility. That included the installation of 14 portable buildings as well as 2 portable restrooms so the kids could stay on site and we wouldn't interrupt their learning. I think that serves 2 purposes. One, it keeps them on the site. And the other purpose is it gives them an opportunity to watch the construction as it's happening. I think that'll be good for them. And then last but not least, we have the Covalod classroom addition, which is a 16 classroom, 2-story building, which we moved to the opposite side of the site, which helps us to utilize that entire property. We also have 3 alternates that we would like to do on that site pending extra funding. One would be upgrading the parking lot there, and the other would be to upgrade the playground and as well as remove some of the portables and install a new play field on that site. So those are just some of the exciting things that we have going on in the facilities department. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So just want to end with the fact that you heard our team talk about all the work happening at Marysville. We've been very busy, and rightly so. We should be busy. We're here to serve our children, serve our community, and serve our families. But what's important is I'd like to leave for you a copy of our district strategic plan. I promise you, it's not a boring read. It's a very light read. But why is it important? Any good work that happens in a district must start with a good plan. If we have a plan that's actionable, that's measurable, that's also timely, we can say that the work is happening. And what you heard today is that our work and our focus right now is to make things happen. But we are riding on the shoulders of giants. The people who are here before us put in place a lot of these actionable items. Our new team that walked in, basically the whole cabinet is brand new. None of our ideas are new. And that's really important. Why is that important? We need to respect the work that was happening in the district prior to us coming in. We need to respect our community for what you've been asking for, and the fact that our district has been listening. We came in, we created a plan, and you'll see at the back of this plan that I leave for you is all the actions, and we are boxing them to show the community we've heard you. You're sending your children to us. We are responsible for the education of our children, for the future, and for the economic development of this community. The schools largely impact the economic development of the community. If people like our schools, if people like the way our schools are operating and how they look, they'll send their children to us. If people want to buy homes in this community, they will first look at our schools. And to be honest and very transparent, our performance in public with one state test, which happens every year, one time only in the month of April, does not bode well for our district. But if you look deeper and you look at the work we're doing at our college and careers, our children were getting scholarships, full rights to universities, we are doing well. But what the public sees is that one test and judges us. So we thank you for the opportunity to share that Marysville, that you belong to, the community belongs to, our school district that serves the entire county. We are working as hard as we can, but we take our job very seriously. And the strategic plan is live. It's holding us accountable, and it's measurable. So we are here to take any questions you have for us, but thank you for letting us come today and talk to you a little bit about our district.
Dr. Asrani,
Yes, sir.
thank you very much. This is the first time the school board has ever come before the board as long as I've been on it. So that's 13 years.
Thank
And
you.
it's, I'm sure we'll be talking to you. We have a tour on Thursday, July 27th, and a dinner, and I'll be there. This is available for you. So we don't want to bury you with questions. We have any number of questions, might get them answered if we attend the tour. And it's a lot of information to get at one point in time. So please limit your questions to, don't give them 13 years worth, please.
We'll come back. Thank you for that. You know, we really do appreciate the chance that you're willing to listen to us. It's very often schools operate as isolated entities, and we forget that your children and you, many of you, have gone through this very system. So thank you for giving us a chance to come and talk with you today. We'll take any questions you might have.
Okay.
The chair recognizes Supervisor Blazer. Thank you. Through the chair.
Through the chair. Just a quick question on facilities. Is there any kind of a plan or long-term plan on bringing the main administration brick building up to standards?
Well, that's a very good question. I'll refer it to a business person, but any money we get, we first need to upgrade our schools. Our children need the upgraded facilities first. Administration comes last. But that is my political and my absolute honest response. But I'm sure our facilities team might have a different response. No? No, so I think I nailed that one.
All right.
I have a comment through the chair.
John.
So do a great presentation. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for all the information. And I'd like to take this time while everybody's here to invite you and your staff Thursday night. We're having the Marysville Youth Shooting Sports Boosters Club pub crawl for the Peach Festival. It's a fundraiser for Marysville Youth Shooting Sports. We have a varsity team at Marysville High School and JV team, as well as other kids we serve throughout the district. And we do it independently of the school, but we represent Marysville, and it's our annual fundraiser. So I have tickets available at $15, and you get $3 off of drinks at each pub, and enter for several raffle prizes, including $100, $50, and several other baskets. So I'd like to invite you guys to come and support the Marysville Youth Shooting Sport. So the more kids we can get to learn gun safety, in my opinion, is great. So
thank you. We'll definitely, I know I'll be there. I'm sure some of my team members will be there. On that same point is Marysville has a nice booth at the Peach Festival. Thank you, Mr. Miss. Drop by and see our principals that are covering that. Meet with our administrators, people who have boots on the ground every day and serve our children directly, and they'd love to see you. But I'm doing my pancake purchase for FFA. I believe they're doing that. I'll come by and see you. And
I will be cooking pancakes there Saturday.
There you go. We'll be there. We'll be there. Any other questions from anybody? If not, I'll leave you my strategic plan.
Any questions, Seth?
I do, but I'm afraid that it would be deep and take time, and I know you don't like to do that, so I'll pass.
Okay. Thank you. Gary?
I can meet with you separately, Mr. Fira. Thank you so much for your time today. This is wonderful. Thank you.
I have one question before you leave. There's a Union Center, trade school center that's here. Are you utilizing that facility at all? The closest Union Training Center to this area is Dublin. And we're very fortunate in that we have electrical, plumbing, air conditioning, welding, all these trades, career trades. You've got a union school right down the street from you.
That is correct. And what is the name? One Stop? No, what is it? I know the CTE bus tour goes by and includes them. And so we do have a lot of conversation and relationship with them already.
This allows them to enter the trades and actually get paid. They don't have to go through junior college. And there's the problem we have with children today is they don't have things that hold their attention in school anymore. Wasn't for shop, probably 80% of us wouldn't have made it. I didn't make it, but okay, as long as you're using it.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir.
Through the chair, just a really quick thank you to you and your team for coming today. And I know you have a great partnership with the county and with the various board members up here, and you're always reaching out and engaging with us. So that's appreciated. I look forward to the bus tour and the dinner coming up as well. I think.
All right. Thank you.
Before I leave, can I give a shout out to Jennifer Vasquez sitting back there?
Sure.
The work that she did for us to help us with wellness when we had that drastic trauma. She and her team were just unbelievable. So I just wanted to say thank you. And also to Sam and his team for the work they're doing with us and our upgrades of our sidewalks. Thank you. You have a wonderful team and we love the partnership. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. All right. We've got booklets coming and we've got the quarterly development update. Just a little bit of enthusiasm in that presentation.
Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Just a couple clicks to get to it, but I got it. Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Rachel Downs. I am your business engagement manager from Community Development, and I have the pleasure of presenting to you and the public our quarterly development update, which is a culmination of projects from all of community development like planning, building, public works, environmental health, and other community partnerships that support business and economic development. In follow on to Dr. Asrani and the school district's presentation, that has also been a wonderful community partnership. And I have the pleasure of sitting on the Superintendent Advisory Committee and just very, very grateful for the partnership between the county and public works and the school district, as well as college and careers. And so accolades again to their team. While they were very complimentary of us, it's very impressive to see the work that they are doing as well. So thank you very much. And specifically this quarter, here we are, we wanted to highlight our partnership with Beale Air Force Base. So with an estimated $604 million impact to California's economy and one of the largest employers in the North State, Yuba County is host to this plus or minus 23,000 acre installation. We are home to thousands of airmen, airwomen, their families, and civilian contractors. So while Beale Air Force Base and Yuba County have had a long-standing healthy relationship, the COVID-19 pandemic certainly caused significant shift into external community partnerships and collaboration. So alongside the Yuba Water Agency, we've been working diligently to re-strengthen these bridges to the base through a variety of efforts. First, at the wing level, base leadership hosted a tour and a visit to San Angelo, Texas and Goodfellow Air Force Base to learn why this community has been rated #1 in quality of life in a variety of polls, and what the base's role has been in external partnerships and community development. While we certainly learned a lot in those couple days, the most salient points were #1, consistency between base leadership and community liaisons during times of transition, and #2, a wholehearted, unfailing, full embrace between the host community and the installation were required ingredients to success. As a follow-on, just last week, in partnership with the Yuba Water Agency and Yuba County team hosted a community immersion tour, if you will, of our own to showcase the anticipated infill developments within the city of Marysville, continued housing and commercial growth throughout the rest of Yuba County, valuable assets like MJUSD and their school facilities, Adventist Health and Rideout Hospital, and the infrastructure investments that will positively enhance the quality of life in Yuba County. At the squadron level, the county received an invitation to participate in the Honorary Commander Program, where civic leaders alongside base leadership and commanders who oversee base operations work alongside each other together, ideally in a related field. So for myself and Jackie Silman at the Yuba Water Agency, we were invited to build a strong relationship with Major Ciccone and the contracting squadron, which has really helped create a strong pipeline for businesses to access major federal contracts. So through our inaugural Yes to Government contracting event and an on-base industry day, businesses got to hear firsthand what the base needs and how to prepare themselves for federal contracts through the U.S. Air Force. Additionally, we continue to work and retain as much of that $604 million economic impact in our region as possible by making warm introductions between the contracting specialists at Beal to our local businesses, as well as assessing together how we can strengthen the local industries that we already have that are complementary to base operations. And in addition to building strong partnerships to enhance future business growth and development, we continue to see exciting projects coming to Yuba County almost weekly. Through our planning department, we received a number of infill parcel maps for residential development and a design review application for a multi-tenant space on the corner of Chalice Creek and Feather River Boulevard in Plumas Lake. As Supervisor Bradford knows very well, this is a particular development that was a big win for Yuba County's Yes to Yuba movement, because this multi-tenant commercial space was originally planned to be a gas station. So in a candid conversation between Supervisor Bradford, county staff, and the developer, we clearly communicated the market saturation of existing and planned fuel stations. While a fuel station was a permitted use, and we would have supported the private developer's vision for the property, we were able to provide them feedback from the community and dozens of contacts for established local businesses that were looking for commercial space in Plumas Lake. Ultimately, they pivoted, as you can see here, and secured a national brand anchor tenant and are working through the influx of additional interested tenants to fill the remaining spaces. We're excited about that one.
Very excited.
Very much so. Our planning team has received applications and approval for a number of other projects, as you can see here. But most notably, we wanted to call out, again, another approval of a design for an additional commercial space in Plumas Lake, which will be the first medical clinic in this community.
Wow.
I also want to take the opportunity to say, I know I'm moving through some of these slides a little quickly that have a lot more text. I will provide a printed copy for the board members that would like one afterwards. And I can also share the link for the board as well as the community that these reports are always published online on our yes2yuba.com platform. I also wanted to mention the approval of a tentative parcel map at 6223 Mapes Avenue in Linda, which is a big win for our community. This tax sale property has been a longtime site of blight, vandalism, and illegal occupancy. The developer purchased the property and has created 3 individual parcels, which can be redeveloped into 3 single-family homes and provide much-needed improvements to the property. Speaking of residential development, you can see here in the middle chart that the total number of production homes issued permits this quarter remains relatively steady, comparable to the quarter last year, hovering about 150 new single-family units. However, as you can see on the right-hand side, I believe, we are slightly behind the average and total number of production homes given final occupancy to date this year, but we're still approaching about 200 units. While there were a number of building permits under review and issued this quarter, including the aforementioned medical clinic in Plumas Lake, improvements to both Peachtree and Harmony Health facilities, and the expansion of Linda Fire's new administrative offices on scales. The most notable is the estimated $665,000 investment from Best National Carports in an expanded facility on Chestnut and Fir in Olivehurst. Carlos and his team have been steadily building up their business at their current location west of the Yuba County Airport in a leased facility. Wanting to keep their roots here in Yuba County and continue to grow their company, they've purchased a property and plan to build a new warehouse and office buildings. As one of our top 50 sales tax generating businesses, this is a great win to Yuba County and we look forward to continue supporting their growth. We also wanted to share accolades to Yuba County receiving our Pro Housing designation in April through a competitive program through the California Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD. which provides incentives and preferred scoring when competing for state grants for housing, community development, and infrastructure. Like the $960,000 pilot program grant awarded to Yuba County to accelerate affordable housing development. Plus, our housing team has also launched the owner-occupied rehab program, which was approved by your board, offering grants between $5,000 to $40,000 for Yuba County low-income homeowners to cure health and safety issues and overall improving the housing stock throughout our community. The program has certainly been met with a warm embrace, with over 46 applications in the first 10 days of the program being open. Speaking of investments, one of the biggest messages we want to continue sharing with our businesses and development community, and as far and as wide as we can, is why would you want to start, grow, or relocate your business in Yuba County? And the answer to that is because we are investing heavily in infrastructure. From roads and drainage, water and wastewater partnerships, and flood protection, agencies all across Yuba County have made infrastructure a top priority, which gives us a strong foundation for future growth and prosperity. Thus, we're happy to announce that Public Works received an additional $3 million toward the additional phases of Northville Road improvements, spanning the frontage of Yuba College, providing curbs, gutters, sidewalks, and improved drainage in Linda. Staff will be working to secure additional funding in the months to come to reach the total project cost of about $8 million. Plus, crews have officially began work in West Linda on a $40+ million project, $40+ million multi-phase project, starting at Alicia Avenue, Cedar Lane, for sidewalks, bike lanes, and better drainage. Garden Avenue, Feather River Boulevard, and Arboga Road, and many other surrounding streets can also expect improvements over the next few years. Additionally, you can see here the numerous projects that Public Works has planned for construction in the remainder of the year. That's on the left-hand side of your screen. Like the Skyway Drive overlay, which provides access to many of our industrial businesses on the west side of the airport, plus a number of other priority projects in the middle of the screen that are on the horizon, like seeking design funding for the Earl Road interchange, Lyndhurst Avenue improvements, and the extension of Goldfields Parkway to reroute traffic around Linda. Lastly, we want to acknowledge the development momentum at the Yuba County Airport, where the county has retained ownership or possession of 5 total buildings. While all are in need of improvements and maintenance plans at each facility, we are actively working to cite job-creating, tax-generating, and/or complementary aviation-related businesses in these valuable real estate assets. Lastly, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share these updates on behalf of our entire Community Development Department and the numerous people that work daily on helping businesses, developers, and residents each find their yes in Yuba County. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions on the board? When do you sleep?
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
So the owner-occupied program, is that being administered by us or by Habitat?
I believe that's through Habitat for Humanity.
Okay. The other program that was the other half of the slide is about $1 million. That is something that we'll be doing, or is that through some other program as well?
The pilot grant for the $960,000, I would have to defer to either Kevin or Amanda if either of you are here. Kevin, yes.
Yeah, the pro housing money is something that we'll do in-house.
Okay.
So we haven't
an idea of how
we haven't identified how we're going to utilize that money. We were just awarded it, I think, a few weeks ago. So Amanda has a few ideas, but before we do anything in terms of spending that money, we'll need to come before your board should receive approval.
Awesome. Congrats on that, another $1 million grant.
Any further questions from the board? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, we have public communication.
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. If you are participating via Zoom and wish to comment, please use the raise hand function or *9 if participating on a phone. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we do have one card. We have Tony Farley.
Works. Hey, I'm 25 from South Star County, South City. Here, thank everybody. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, County Council, the lawyer, the best lawyer ever. And thank you, Kevin, Administrator. Thank you, the board. Thank Rachel. They did a good job with the community thing. Did a good job. Thank the Marysville School District for helping all ages, not only kids but adults and college kids. Thank you. Thank the Sheriff Department, Sheriff over there, and the 2-star Sheriff, former Sergeant, previously Police Department. Here, thank you everybody for your service. Thank you. Keep the good work.
Thank you. Any further cards?
Through the chair, no, we have no more cards, and there's no one on Zoom.
No one on Zoom. All right. County departments. County Administrator approved employment agreement with Samuel Mutton as Public Works Director.
All right. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Kevin Mallon, Yuba County Administrator. So the item before you today is due to our current Public Works Director's retirement at the end of this month, which necessitates a need to not only have a County Public Works Director, but also to appoint someone as the County Road Commissioner, which is required in order to receive gas tax funding to maintain our county roads. So we went through a recruitment process, and I'm happy to state that there was a standout candidate through that recruitment process. He's currently the county's Assistant Public Works Director, Sam Button, and I'm recommending that Sam be appointed the Public Works Director as well as the Road Commissioner. So the item before the board today is to, associated with the appointment as Public Works Director and Road Commissioner, would be to execute an employment agreement with Mr. Button, and as well as the board formally appointing him as the Road Commissioner. So the employment agreement is the kind of our standard employment agreement that the county uses for all at-will appointed positions. The employment agreement would go into effect August 1st, which would be when the appointment would take effect. Just highlighting what's contained in the employment agreement for the record. The salary would be as identified in the county's salary schedule, multiplied by the current index for Mr. Button, which is at 1.3. We'd have a 4-month paid administrative leave as part of the severance terms in there. There would be a monthly vehicle allowance, and then all other benefits the same as other county management positions. And so if the board doesn't have any questions related to the terms that are outlined in the employment agreement, I do want to afford Mr. Button maybe the opportunity to say a few words.
Any questions from the board?
Right.
No? No questions from the board. Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Good morning to the board. I'm just up here to say thank you. I don't think there's enough thank yous that I can say for the opportunity, but I do think it goes to show how amazing the Yuba County Board has been to work for with Kevin's tenure and Robert's in the past. As well, I do think I should say thanks to Kevin, Mike, and Dan for creating an environment that allowed me to grow and develop into this position. Dan has been the most loving and caring boss I've ever had working in my professional life. And although he will be retiring and we won't see him in the office every day. He is just across the river for us to lean on. So that is very comforting as well. The Public Works Department has been the hardest working department I've ever been in, public or private. So we won't let you down. And just want to say thanks again for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Any questions from the board at all? Okay. All right. Any questions from the public? I'll bring it back to the board for a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Measure passes. Welcome aboard. All right, Human Resources, approve a resolution adopting the classification system, basic hourly schedule, elected officials salary schedule.
This one, the taller one? Okay, I'll pull it down to my height.
It
Good morning, Chair, members of the board, Tiffany Manuel, Human Resources. So each year, the HR department presents to your board the county's salary schedule in its entirety to approve class changes proposed through the fiscal year budgetary process, contractual compensation changes effective at the beginning of the fiscal year, and to create new or modify existing classes as appropriate. All of the proposed changes are outlined in detail in the staff report, which includes the salary schedule attachments. I do need to bring to your board's attention that this morning we submitted to the clerk a revised attachment B of the salary schedule. During an audit process, we found an administrative oversight to one of the salaries listed on this attachment. This revised corrected version will need to be added to the record and replace the existing attachment B. So now I'll provide a summary of the recommendations provided in the staff report. The salary schedule is being updated to include items agreed to in board approved labor agreements, such as a cost of living adjustment of 2.5% for represented employees and the applications of the same COLA to unrepresented and management classifications, market adjustments for specific classifications as agreed to in MOUs with the DDAA, MSA, and DSA, the application of market adjustments to non-represented positions that are aligned with the represented positions, such as reserve deputy sheriff and deputy county counsel, the addition of a longevity step of 1.325 on the county's salary schedule index table for all employees hired after July 1, 2013, with at least 10 years of county service. Also, the removal of classifications from the salary schedule that are no longer in use, and classification changes related to changes approved in the budgetary process. This includes positions being retitled or modified based on organizational changes or retirements within several departments, classification and compensation changes resulting from completed studies agreed to during contract negotiations, modifications to salaries related to recruitment results and analysis of job duties. Separate from the salary schedule recommendations, HR is also requesting continued authorization through fiscal year 23-24 to recruit up to and for department heads to hire candidates up to the 1.30 index rate in an effort to continue to broaden our applicant pools for hard to fill positions. I'm asking your board to approve the resolution to adopt in its entirety the classification system, the basic salary hourly schedule set forth in attachment A, the Yuba County elected officials basic salary schedule as set forth in the revised attachment B, and the extra help classification system hourly schedule as set for in attachment C effective July 1, 2023, as well as for continued authorization through fiscal year 23-24 to recruit and hire candidates up to the 1.3 index rate. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Bring it back to the board.
I'll move to approve.
We have a motion. We need a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Measure passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Ordinances and public hearings.
If you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
All right, first item is 324. We'll open the public hearing. I'm going to entertain a motion to continue this item to a time certain of July 25th, 2023 at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter. I'll now entertain a motion.
Through the chair, we do have public comment.
Okay, the public comment, let's take the vote here. I need a motion.
I'll move to continue the item.
All right, we have a motion to continue the item.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments from the public yet? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes. We have continued this item. If you care to speak today, you can do that to get it on the record. If you'd like to do that today.
The first person we have is Jeannie Pittman.
We could through the chair. Would you like to have any presentation from staff as far as background on the item before public comment?
Okay. All right. It wasn't on here. Okay.
I will defer until July 25th.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your patience. Mike, go ahead.
Okay. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do some background, or are we gonna wait till next week?
Do you want to wait for the background? We can wait for the background. All right. Any other comment cards?
Thank you.
Through the chair, no. Very good.
Okay. All right. Correspondence then.
Correspondence, we have 2 items. We have a letter from the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection Office of the State Fire Marshal regarding public comment period for the regulatory adoption process of the fire hazard severity zone map. Second item is a letter from the California Board of State and Community Corrections regarding 2023-24 comprehensive inspections for Yuba County Detention Facility and the Yuba County Probation Department detention facilities.
Okay, board and staff member reports. Mr. Blazer. How's Lake
everybody
Ellis?
knows it's Peach Festival weekend. The biggest event will be the temperature, probably 120. I don't know. Typical Peach Festival. But it's Friday night, Saturday. Usually the best time to go, especially if families and seniors, is like 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. There's a lot of other events tied to it. There's a walk, I believe, 5K.
Walk or run.
Walk or run.
But run for some people.
And then the pancake breakfast. There's the pub crawl. There's a variety of events, but it does start Friday evening.
All right, good. Mr. Pure.
I enjoyed the presentation. Yes, really excited about all the things that are happening. So thank you. I appreciate actually all of the staff. I have correspondence. I get to pass it on to them and they take care of it for me. I have citizen questions. They solve it for me. So I'll tell you guys how much I really do like working. Be able to call the sheriff when I have somebody who needs a speed trap set up. Whatever it is I need, you guys are great. So thank you. Thank you.
Gary.
Looking forward to supporting Marysville Shooting Sports Organization on Thursday night. I was able to do that last year, and it was a great time for a great cause. Yeah. And also walking in the 5K run walk on Saturday morning, when hopefully it'll be relatively cool compared to how it'll be later on Saturday. And I also wanted to close the meeting today in memory of Nancy Griego, who passed away on June 18th. It is the mother of former District 3 Supervisor Mary Jane Griego. So hopefully we can write a letter and all sign it.
Okay. All 5 of us. John.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a few items over the last couple of weeks. I, along with most of you, attended the lunch mob at the Brick after our last meeting. Also that day, I attended the Dobbins-Oregon House Fire Department meeting. On the 5th of July, I
hosted a tour of Congressman Kevin Kiley. Met him at the Ranger District in Camptonville and took him on a tour of Bullards and Colgate Powerhouse. Very interesting. Let's see, what else do I have? On the 6th, I had some constituents come in, and Mary was very helpful explaining the different boards and commissions we have vacancies on, and we got some of them to put in applications to fill some of these board positions. Let's see, last Friday on the 7th, I attended the Brownsville Farmers Market and the thing they have across the street at the coffee shop. And tomorrow morning, I will be on Q93 at 7 a.m. if you all want to listen in, pitching everything peachy. So as I already mentioned, I'm on the board that hosts the Peach Pub Crawl as our fundraiser for Marysville Youth Shooting Sports Thursday night. Saturday morning, I will be flipping pancakes for the Marysville FFA at the Silver Dollar. Come and have peaches and pancake breakfast. I do that just so I don't have to do the 5K. This is conflicting time. So that's it.
I don't have anything.
Nothing from our office, Mr. Chair.
Best leader ever.
Brevity, right? Just as a reminder, so the July 25th board meeting will be presenting the Yuba County Strategic Plan update. So it looks like Marysville Joint Unified School District has provided the board some light reading with their strategic plan, and I'll provide you some additional reading for Yuba County Strategic Plan. Yep. All right. And then the other reminder for the board, so the August 8th board meeting, so that board day, you'll have the board meeting in the morning and then you'll begin budget workshops that afternoon. And the budget workshops will continue for the day for August 9th. So as a reminder, your calendar, that's all I have.
Okay. Mary, anything?
Nothing, thank you.
All right, we got closed session. We have closed session coming up. We're going to take a 5-minute break. I'd like to talk to the young lady out there. Oh.
Recording stopped.
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. Pick your time to attend the Marysville Peach Festival. It's happening Friday, July 14th and Saturday, July 15th in downtown Marysville. You'll find your old favorites like Sidaro's Cobbler and Pies, Peaches and Cream, fresh peaches locally grown, and other fruit to take home and eat. Fun for kids and big kids. A City of Marysville event kept moving by Recology, Waste Zero, and by Yuba County. Say yes to Yuba. The 23rd Marysville Peach Festival happening Friday, July 14th and Saturday, July 15th in downtown Marysville. A City of Marysville event.